must be out of your goddamn mind. Joe Louis, the greatest boxer ever lived. I'll be with you boys in a minute. He was bad in Cassius Clay. He bad in Sugar Ray. He bad in that. Who that? The new boy got Mike Tyson. Look like a bulldog. He bad at him too. He done whipped Mike Tyson ass. He whipped all that.
Paid the cost to be the boss. Paid the cost to be the boss. I paid the cost to be the boss. Look at me.
All right, cool. We're back for another one. Barbershop Politics. Myself, Nate Knows.
It's myself, KKKOP, aka King OP the Great, aka O motherfucking P. We're just mixing up a little bit, people. We're like with a BMP/BSP/Barbershop Politics because Nate felt that we gotta start pushing this acronym, but I said it's very similar to like BMP. You know what I mean? BSP and BMP is only one letter difference.
I see. Yo.
So what's your nickname, Nate? Racist Nate. We got 3 black guys who are now racist white people, apparently.
That's how we do. Casey.
Where's Nate Knows? Not Nate Knows. Where's Casey though?
Casey's on his ways. He's running late as usual.
Man, we're definitely living up to this. We're not doing this racist podcast no justice, you know. We're black people. We're still on black people time. We're doing racist podcasts.
We still have to live up to the stereotypes.
I hear that, man. I hear that. 100.
But yeah, man, what's been going on in the boxing news, though?
I don't know, Black. You're lead Mike. You tell me.
I'm asking you.
But you're lead Mike, though.
So, okay, cool. Well, yeah, let's round up on the fights that's already occurred. So I would say let's start with James DeGale. And what's your opinion on his comeback? And do you genuinely think that he's got a chance in terms of getting to where he wanted to get to in the first place, i.e. to fight Groves and do something? Or do you think his time's done?
No, his time's not done, man. I mean, this is why we definitely need KC as the lead Mike, man. This is the dynamics all skewed right now. But now what I'm saying is James DeGale, like you saw the fight last week, right?
Of course.
And it was nothing overwhelming. It was an undercard to Lara Jared Hurd, which we'll talk about later. Now, you got to think about that in itself. James DeGale's fighting an undercard. Like, okay, we know it's abroad, we know it's in America, but even say that in a statement, fam, like that doesn't even make sense, really. You know, so am I looking at James DeGale as being some big brand and gonna go much further in the sport? Not at all. Like I feel like he's a definition of talent when you're not pushing that talent to be and maximize the output. You know, like if you don't put out hard work in, the talent's only going to take you so far. And it's not to say that he isn't a very skilled boxer and he hasn't got the ability to be, or he hadn't had the ability to be an all-time great. There's the other stuff that goes on outside the ring that we know of, that people, you know, we know it was a party, but we know that he loved being in the Marbeas and the Ibifas and, you know, that's where he's at. And I mean, if you look at his career, look at the number of fights he's had, you know, over 50% of them fights are going 12 rounds. He went pro, was it 2009, I believe, after the 2008 Olympics in Beijing.
Yeah.
So when you break all that down, bro, it's like a 10-year career. You're doing 12 rounds, 10 to 12 rounds in over 50% of your fights. Like, you know what I mean? It's the Father Time's calling, bro. And I mean, when you're not taking people out at the level of Truax, you can't really expect to get much more. I mean, the only saving grace for him is that there's still 2 domestic rivals out there who are, well, one's definitely towards the back end of his career as well, in George Groves.
Yeah.
And another one's, you know, effectively not world elite level in Chris Eubank, which there's the potential to maximize, I would say 2, possibly 3 fights out of that.
I would say the same thing as well. I'm hoping that Truax was actually a boogeyman for him, and there's probably more to come from him. I know he's meant to recover from his injury. I think he said it was in June, was the initial time when he wanted to come back, but he rushed into it. And him doing the second fight was to prove a point.
He ain't really proving the point, no, bro. He's not proving the point.
He's not proving the point at all.
The second fight because he lost his title.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying the initial first one.
If he didn't win that fight, his career is literally done.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying the first fight that he had with Truax that he lost, he came back more or less because he was overconfident in himself, as he usually is. And he just basically thought, okay, I don't need that time off. I don't need to wait until June. I can do it now. And obviously, it took a toll on him. It didn't work out the way he wanted it to. So he had to come back, obviously. It was pivoting for him to come back. But I mean, what I've seen from that his last performances haven't looked great at all. And I'm just wondering whether that's the best he can be. You see what I'm saying?
No, it's not about being the best. That's what I'm trying to say to you. It's like, I hate mentioning this guy throughout the podcast. It seems like it's the fucking fan club. But again, look at someone like Anthony Joshua, bro. Like, he's consistent, he's working out, he's in the gym, bro. Like,
yeah, of course.
You never really hear of him overly partying. You never really hear of, the rumors are there, bro, innit? You understand me? Whereas Chunky likes that side of life. You understand me? And isn't as dedicated in the training as other fighters. You look at George Rose, but is he as dedicated as George Rose? No chance. Is he as dedicated as a Eubanks? No chance. The only difference between Eubanks is that Eubanks doesn't have that elite level skill set that the girl has. And that's what he's overly relied upon. You understand me? But he's 32 now, and you gotta look at it, bro. There's hitters in that division, bro. You understand me? Super mids. There's some big boys coming through now, right? You got David Benavidez out of the States, who I believe is he the WBC champ? He's 20 years old, bro, and he's knocking people out for fun. You understand me? He fought against Porky Medina and literally had one of the knockouts of the year last year when he beat up Porky Medina. Whereas Chunky the girl struggled with Porky Medina. You understand me? We all know that the girl lost against Baidu Jack. There's no way he won that fight. Got a draw. Yeah. Looked like a homeless man at the end of the fight. Teeth punched out, nose broken, eyes blackened. But all of that is a demonstration of what happens when you don't do that additional work in the gym, when you're not working hard, you're not living the lifestyle. And now, for me, he's caught up with him, and he's kind of he's at the end of it, bro. Because from what I remember, his mandatory is excuse the pronunciation, Uzgat. I think it's Uzgat.
Okay.
He's from South America somewhere. I can't remember exactly what part of South America. But he's the one that battered Dirrell in his last fight. Beat up Dirrell, like it wasn't even a joke. Remember when that the first fight, him and Dirrell, he lost by disqualification for so-called hitting after the bell, and Dirrell's uncle came in the ring and threw a sucker punch at him. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Then at the rematch now, fam, Uzgat went sick on man, bro. Virgil Hunter was in Dirrell's corner and just pulled him out and said, "Nah, we're not having this no more." And that's the girl's mandatory for the IBF, who's supposed to fight next. So I'm thinking he's gonna vacate that title, because if he fights him, he's losing that fight. No way he's winning that fight. Yeah. And I know the girls. I know you man always root for the girl. Of course. I mean, I've always been a fan of the girl, but like I said, his past few fights, he's been disappointing, which is why I asked the initial question. It seems like it's the end of the road for him. But alright, cool. Bet. Let's go back a bit in it, yeah? Right? We've all liked the girl from the Olympic Games when he was talking crud on like ITN News and that. Yeah. You understand me? Showing that he's from the bits. Seemed like one of the man them. Yeah. But really, What's his defining fight?
Boy, I mean, that's a question. That is a question.
Because to me, there's only two that I can think of. I can think off the top of my head. When he won the title against Durrell,
Yeah.
right? Because that was he put on a performance, and then I would say the fight against Wembley against Brandon Gonzalez, that when he had that sick knockout when he was on the ropes and he pushed him back, and then I think he hit him with the left hook at the end and then spun a man around.
Yeah.
Outside of that, bruv, is that 27 fights, fam? I can't think of. You see what I'm saying?
That's a question. That's a question.
Because that's what I feel like, man, and particularly in the UK, sometimes you get lost in the sauce, bro, with who we're supporting and actually what they've actually done when you break down their records. You understand me? Like, if you look at, like I said, like, we always use Cal Brook as one example. Like, we all like him and we like his kind of, the character, and you understand me? When he's on job, he seems like super on job. But again, where's the defining fight? You had the Sean Porter, but when's the next one?
Yeah, the Sean Porter was a scrap. I mean, for me, if I was to say the girls defining, although he lost, was definitely something that I remember that's monumental to me was the Groves fight, because he did box well in the Groves fight, but he lost just on hard luck. You see what?
Yeah, we all agree. Like, I think, boom, that fight was, in my eyes, should have probably been a draw.
Yeah.
I don't think he lost, but I think maybe a draw. But even still, I'm you know, the history book's gonna say he lost that fight. So boom, again, we all know he's got talent, but where's the defining fight?
He's
what I'm saying?
Yeah, like Cal Brook, he hasn't really got one where you can say, okay, this is his defining fight. This is what is the reason why James DeGale is the way, you know, why we rate him is because of this particular fight here. He hasn't really got one. I can't really pinpoint one.
Let me chip in quickly though. Let me chip in.
Oh shit!
Let me chip in real quick though.
Oh shit! Yo, who's that? Is that the man like KC?
Yeah, brother.
Oh shit, yo, big up KC still. Alright, quick one before you jump in. You know we kind of switched up the podcast a bit.
Yeah.
It's cause Nate realised that he likes BSP in it for Barbershop Politics.
Yeah. And
I was saying we gotta be careful, fam, because BSP is very similar to BMP. And we don't want people getting confused out here, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey.
But go ahead, give your take then.
Yeah, I feel like he's had one. I think the fight in Toronto, was it in Canada against Butte was a good fight.
Yeah, but okay, cool.
I think that was a good fight. I think
think about it, yeah.
And the fight, but the thing is, sorry to cut you off. The thing is as well, I don't know. I didn't know how good the you know the guy he knocked out in Wembley on the undercard of, is it the undercard of the Carl Froch fight? Carl Froch and Groves?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was a good
performance. What was that fight? Who was he fighting?
The American guy.
That's it. Yeah. That one there, that was a good one.
That was a good fight because at that time it seemed like, oh yeah, he's on a rise. If he was to link Groves now, it would be long.
But that's my point, though, bro. That's my point. Who's Brandon Gonzalez?
Yeah, I get you. It's true. It's fair point.
You know what I'm saying? And Lucian Butte is always going to be remembered as being Carl Froch's fucking, you know what I mean? Victim.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Yeah.
Froch took something out of his soul with that fight, bro.
True.
So to go 12 rounds with Butte, and it wasn't an easy fight, bro. That to me is not a defining fight, fam. Like, defining to me is when, like I said, when Carl Froch was under the cosh against Butte and done what he did. When Carl Froch beat obviously Groves the second time around. When Carl Froch beat Kessler the second time around. When Carl Froch fought Arthur Abrams and schooled him. You understand me? When he fought Jermaine Taylor, was losing and banged him out.
Yeah.
Those are defining fights, bro.
Yeah.
Historic.
It's true. Yeah. James DeGale was had no in there that the crib, but you need to look at. This is my point. Like, see, okay, cool. We need to look at, because you said last week, you made a point saying how DeGale wasn't celebrated the way he should have been winning a gold medal in the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He signed to Frank Rowan, had 11 fights, fought Groves, and then his career literally took a nosedive after that. You know, he went to
Massive
fight.
those died, bro.
He went to fighting in Blue Water, Channel 5. You know, and then when we saw the resurrection, when he was back on Sky and he was knocking people, he won the World Championship. You know, to me, I don't, because we're sitting there, we're not saying. You know what? It's a bit difficult because I feel like with him, like Deontay, yeah, they've had bad decision making. That for Deontay, it doesn't really matter because he's a heavyweight, but for the girl, it's affected his career. That whole, I feel like in Matchroom, he would have been in a better position because that leaving Matchroom to go to BT Sport, he hasn't had a home. In America, they're never really gonna love him like they would love him in UK in terms of like.
Yeah, but don't you think that's more his fault? His attitude.
It is his fault. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it is his fault. That's what I'm saying.
That's more his attitude. His attitude has been this cocky sort of too confident, overconfident individual.
Yeah.
And it shows in his fights.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
the
but
last
again,
fight. Go on.
Again, Casey, what I keep saying to you about timing, bro. Like you're saying about Matchroom, but Matchroom boxing wasn't even on the radar when the girl went pro. Like
but he did.
Basically came back in boxing.
Yeah, when Matchroom was on the rise and it was clear that they're number one in boxing, he was part of that stable. He fought on the Froch card. He fought on several cards after that. Do you know what I mean? What happened was that he had the deal with Al Heyman. That's what messed him up. And Eddie,
understandably,
yeah, and Eddie used to say, you know what I'm saying? Eddie
pretty much said to him that one of the main reasons why he said he didn't want to join Matchroom is because he knew he wasn't going to be number one, and AJ was the priority at the time.
Yeah.
It was Carl Froch, AJ, and then it would have been him basically.
Yeah. But when Carl Froch left, James DeGale would have already had the fight with the Smith brother already if he was on Matchroom. That fight would happen. Eddie said it countless times.
Liam Smith.
Liam's the big middleweight, the one that's in the final.
Liam.
Yeah, Liam. Yeah.
Wait, sorry. You mean the fight he had with Paul Smith or the Liam Smith?
No, the Liam Smith, the younger, the brother the brother that's in the final of the the contender thing competition.
The WB was it World Boxing?
You know the one that's gonna fight Groves?
Yes,
World Boxing Series. The World Boxing Series, the one that's supposed to fight Groves, basically.
Yeah.
They would have had the fight already. That would have been.
But that fight wouldn't have made that much money at the time because Liam Smith doesn't have a belt.
But this is what I'm basically trying to say, that Matchroom have been number one for a minute now. It's not like just overnight now. They've been number one for a minute. And Eddie said several times on IFL TV, I'm not gonna get up in the morning, 7 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning, to work for a fighter that basically has a promoter in America. I'm not gonna do it. I'll come do my bit, wear my tie, do this, do that. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna work. I'm not gonna overwork myself for
you, bro. Like I'm in agreement with the fact of had he been with Matchroom, whether or not he lost a fight again is irrelevant because he would have made a lot more money and had a much bigger profile. I mean, I'm in 100% agreement with that.
Yeah.
Like no one's disputing that. Like, do I think the Truax fight, the first one he would have lost? No, I don't think Eddie would have allowed his mindset to stray to the point whereby you're fighting that lackadaisically. Like, I think the one thing where, for me, James DeGale is the type of brother, and it's clear to me that cannot deal with objective criticism.
Yeah.
Like, if you give him any form of, put any form of like nose or critique, he can't hear that. Now, whether that's due to being sensitive or whether it's due to just being ignorant, I don't know. But the reason why I say that is because he's still working with Jim McDonald, right? Now, I'm not saying Jim McDonald is a shit coach. What I'm saying is Jim McDonald is not that guy that's going to get you to be legendary status in the sport of boxing.
Mm. So you're basically saying he should move on from...
I'm saying, right, if you go through some of the big hitters out here and you look at their careers, you will see how they change trainers according to where they're trying to go to in life almost, right? Very few fighters are going to stay with the same fighter, same trainer, particularly when times are bad. So, all right, case in point, let's stay in the super middleweight division. You got, again, we said Carl Froch, obviously, he's Rob McCracken his whole career. But if you look at Carl Froch's career, the only time he lost, 2 times he lost against Kessler,
and Ward,
which was close and away, and then against Andre Ward,
yeah,
who is universally recognized as one of the best boxers that's ever been produced. There's no real reason for you to actually change that particular trainer. Andre Ward similarly was been Virgil Hunter since the age of 12, from what I understand, and has never lost since 12. So obviously he's not going to change his trainer. But James DeGale lost against your man Groves. Looked terrible in so many fights. Whether it be Porky Medina, whether it be Butte, whether it be Baidu Jack, Truax. There's at least 4 occasions where you're thinking, why are you still with his breath for?
I actually have to agree. To be fair, you would have thought, I don't know, because training trainers is a bit like, who would he even go to? Like, what trainer does he even go to get? Like,
at this point.
But I do agree with the point.
I'm just saying at this point, it's pointless changing the trainer.
Yeah.
At this point in his career.
Like, but we're not talking about, okay, when we're talking this obviously retrospectively.
Yeah,
I wasn't talking about changing it now. Now, yeah, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? Like, you stay where you're at. Like, now, I think it's clear, you know, if you use the optic test, he is what he is. And as I said, I mean, obviously, KC, you might as well chime in. I said it to Nate. For me, I only see him in 3 more fights, 2 of which with 2 of the same opponent, which makes sense. So I see him fighting rematch with Groves, and then fighting Eubanks twice.
Yeah.
And then call it a day.
That's
like, that to me is the money play, and get the fuck
out.
out.
But he has to do that on the matchroom.
He has to do that, yeah. And if he was to lose one of those fights, anyways,
yeah, it's finished. Yeah,
finished.
He has to lose. He has to do that on the matchroom. That's the only way that works. That's the only way he gets money.
And personally, I can't really see him beating Groves. The Eubank fight, 50-50. And if he loses the Eubank fight, then he's done.
But that's the thing, they can do a rematch on the Eubank fight. That's
I don't think people take interest in 2 fights
unless it's on Matchroom and they give you a show.
Yeah.
That you lot leave. We all leave the show saying, "Wow, that is a fucking hell of a fight." Then there's no one's gonna want to see a part 2.
No, I think there's enough animosity between them to make 2 fights out of that fight.
Well, yeah, but if it's a clean one-sided victory, there's no rematch. There's no need for a rematch. It has to be a dust-up to the end, and maybe a knockdown on the 12th round settles it. You want to see it again.
But you lot know, neither of them have got fucking knockout power, so...
No, but I can't see it being a dust-up anyway.
It's a 12-round fight anyway.
I can see it being a dust-up.
I can't see it being, because I know what...
No, the girl gets lazy.
No, I know the girl
gets lazy and he loses interest in the fight.
What the girl would do is like what most boxers would do when they're fighting Eubank, is actually box. And he's going to do that because he knows that's the way to beat him. So he's going to do that for the majority of the fight. Yeah, there's going to be points where he's going to get lazy, but I think he's going to do enough to box to possibly beat him, or it's going to go the other way where he's not going to be able to take Eubank's work rate, and it's just going to go wrong for him.
I don't even see that happening. I'm not even buying into that work rate stuff anymore.
10, 12 rounds so many times. There's no doubt he's going to do the full 12. What I'm saying to you, man, is that if them 2 fight, it's going to go to the scorecards, which means it's open for a rematch, because it's not going to be conclusive. Someone's going to say, "Oh no, they got it wrong." Blah blah blah.
I don't think the British probably will buy into that at all.
Not got enough power.
No.
For the fight to be ended before 12 rounds.
I think you're right in terms of who. I think it would have to be Eubanks first, then fight Groves, because Groves doesn't need to fight him at this moment.
But if he loses to Eubank, he's done.
Yeah, but I should say I don't see him losing to Eubanks.
But what I'm saying with Groves. See, this is the thing what people are forgetting. Groves is 30 years old, right? Or 29, 30. I think he's 30 now. Yeah. Him and the girl, yeah? Age is caught up to them, bruv. Right? And injuries to both of them. Yeah. So when you're saying Groves don't need him, look at the landscape what's out there, right? Is George Groves a better boxer than Liam Smith? Yeah. But Liam Smith young. Liam Smith's hungry. Liam Smith has never been dropped. Liam Smith has never really been badly injured. Do you understand me?
Hold on. Is it Liam Smith? Sorry. Is it Liam Smith beefy?
Sorry, not Liam.
Callum Smith. Yeah.
Callum, sorry.
Yeah.
My fault. Let's beefy, sorry. Too many Smith brothers out here, man. Too many of them confusing, man. Liam Smith is a difficult proposition. And then if you look at, like I said, David Benavidez, who's 20 years old, I mean, taking man out for fun. For George Groves, if he wins, cool. But where are you going to go then next? You're going to fight all these hard fights out in the States or bring them over here for less money, or do you just go and fight your domestic rival, particularly in the location where boxing's thriving, and then at least sell out the O2?
Yeah, you would. But I'm saying at this moment of time, Groves could have 2 fights before he fights to go if he wants.
But I'm saying I don't think for Groves right now it's about the number of fights.
It's cashing in.
Like I said to you, he won't know for himself, bro. His career is he's coming to an end, bro.
He's got 5 years, 4 or 5 years left, depending on how it
I
goes.
think less than that, bro. I say genuinely 2 years left.
Yeah, 2 to 3 years.
I think for both of them, DeGale and Groves, 2 years left max.
DeGale definitely 2 years because he's taken a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah, I would literally do. I can't. The way you mapped it out for him is perfect. I would do 1 fight. I would literally just go to Eddie, give me a 4-match deal, 1 fight to prep to have him on a big show, have the fight with Eubanks, have the fight with Groves, and a retirement fight. That's what I would do. I don't see a rematch in the Eubank and Thing fight. I don't see it. I don't see that at all.
I mean, we'll see, bro. But like I said, I can see it makes sense to me, but we'll see. I know what you're saying.
Since we're on the topic of Matchroom, I'm saying there was an interesting, a lot of interesting reports about Matchroom offer to Deontay Wilder. Let's get into that because today I'm here for that. I'm here for all that energy. I'm here for all that smoke.
What you trying to say? You trying to take my section, yeah?
No, not even. You got that section, but it's just that I know we had some strong opinions during the week and in the lead up to this pod, so I just wanted to kind of air it out.
All right. I'm gonna be a gentleman right now for once in my whole life, right? I'm gonna let you go first, Cuzzy.
Yeah, cool. Because to be fair, my view is very much balanced on this. Like the problem with the offer is that argument of this is Deontay's biggest.
Sorry. What? Step back in it. Just lay out what the offer is. Lay out to the people.
Okay, cool.
What the actual whole issue is right now.
So there were reports that were basically more or less confirmed by Eddie on iFull TV, in his interview with Kugan Kasha, that there was an offer of 12.5 million. Fixed. Take it or leave it. There's no back end money. You just take that up front, and there you go. Bob's your uncle.
Fanny's your aunt.
Pardon me?
Bob's your uncle. Fanny's your aunt.
Yeah, Fanny's your aunt. And 100 million is supposed to be the number of the fight. So if we use the figure of 100 million and we use the offer of 12.5 million, then that would mean Deontay has only amassed 12% from the whole fight. Now, watching Eddie's interview, the problem I have with the offer is that you can't fall back on the fact that this is his biggest purse. He was saying stuff like,
wait, just be clear. Who's Wilder's biggest purse?
Wilder's biggest purse.
Yeah,
we know it ain't AJ's biggest purse. We know that. We know that. Oh, you know that, right? 12.5 million ain't AJ's
No, I'm just saying, just be clear to,
okay, cool.
to people.
For people that don't know,
yeah,
Deontay's basically never made over 2 million in a fight.
Dollars.
So basically he's never made over £1 million over a fight. He's never made it.
Yeah. $2 million is over £1 million, but go on.
Pardon me?
$2 million is about 1.3, 1.4.
So he's never made over 1.5 million pounds. Just so that clear. So the reason I have a problem with Eddie's offer, and you lot can chip in if you want, is you can't fall back and say that's his biggest purse, because he was saying something like, "Oh yeah, we've overpaid for this fight and that fight and this fight." No one asked you to overpay Martin.
Correct.
No one asked you to overpay
Correct.
Joseph Parker.
Correct.
No one asked you to overpay Takam.
Yeah.
And if you're going to stop overpaying, this isn't a fight to do it. This is not the fight that you say.
Right, Frank, wait. Can I just say one point right now?
Go on then.
Right. This is the first point in this week we've had these debates where I would tip my hat to say That is the first fucking common sense thing that we're in agreement with. This is not the fight.
Yeah.
You're saying we're stopping overpaying right now.
Yeah,
But continue.
Of course, yeah. This isn't the fight that you say, I'm going to stop overpaying, because we know the magnitude of the fight. Like, you know, if he come out and said, oh, we're giving him 25 million, even if you want to argue about back end, Deontay should take the fight. You believe in your heart that you're going to win, right? Mm-hmm. So what's the problem? But you can't put that argument forward because apparently, according to Eddie, this is the thing about Eddie. Eddie, I realize Eddie's like the biggest genius. Eddie's the type of person that will genius you, but make you see why he's genius you is so blessed.
Yeah.
As in, like, don't be mad. Like, this is why it's good for you.
Yeah.
Because apparently, Parker only made half of what he's offered Deontay Wilder. So the whole thing of 33%, like, is basically saying it's an illusion. However, like, my problem is, now, as AJ, like, and people who support AJ or are looking at, like, are trying to make an argument, you arguing or trying to defend this 12.5 million, you look stupid. Because we know the fight is going to do numbers. We know that. We that everyone has a brain that knows. But
absolutely.
The one thing I do agree with Eddie is that, like, you know, I'm not going to use fantasy. But at the end of the day, you know it's going to generate loads. You cannot offer Deontay Wilder just 12.5 million. If you offered him 25 million, there's no one, even if you lot can talk all you want, but Deontay should take the fight. That's where I stand with it. Like,
no, I agree with everything you're saying there.
Yeah,
1,000%.
All right. So what is it for me to jump in now? Yeah.
I think
Wait. I'm just trying. I'm getting my train of thought.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
He's gone blank.
I've gone blank. Everything you've said, you've hit the nail on the head. Perfect.
Yeah. No, he hasn't. And
no, he has.
Well, but I saved some because I wanted to hear you talk so I can rebuttal. That's what I know what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. He's slick, yeah? Hands on slick.
I know what I'm doing. I wanted to rebuttal, so I saved some of my argument. Go on, go ahead, chip in.
But Memphis is like LA Law or something out here, yeah?
Oh.
Memphis on TV. All right, cool. Boom. As I said earlier, 100% agree. This is not the fight to be talking about we're stopping overpaying right now. This ain't that. Yeah? If you're going to do that, you do that either at Joseph Parker or you do post the Deontay Wilder fight. Right? You don't do that during the Deontay Wilder fight. Right? Now, a couple of things, right? Why my first objection to what you're saying, KC, is that at no point in that dialogue did I hear you mention AJ directly himself. All I heard was Eddie Hearn's doing this, Eddie Hearn's doing that.
Yeah. Making
no acknowledgement to the fact that AJ has to green light this offer in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know why there's no smoke for AJ in all of this. Why only Eddie's getting that heat?
No, I wasn't even giving Eddie heat. I was kind of. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, but don't you think AJ seems that he's left this to Eddie because he feels that Eddie knows best.
Fuck it, let me go in it, yeah. I'm not gonna do this back and forth. I'm just gonna go in, fuck it, in it, yeah. You might as well even call this the smoke section, but whatever. Boom. Right? AJ also did an interview this week.
Set traps.
Right? And kids, this is why it's so important that you stay in school, particularly do maths. This being from a man who's done several maths degrees. Reason why I say so, because then you understand numbers, facts and figures, right? AJ was out there on the IFL interview, I believe it was on Thursday night, maybe Wednesday, right? AJ come around and said, boom, Deontay Wilder chatting shit. Deontay Wilder said that whatever you're prepared to take to offer me for the first fight, be prepared to offer that for the second fight. Yeah? AJ then went on to say that what he's really saying is 50-50. Right? Wrong. And again, kids, this is why I say study maths. Right? That statement is only valid if both fights were to make exactly the same amount of money. If you give me 25% for a first fight, i.e. you give me 25 million out of $100 million for the first fight, and the second fight's worth 100 million, and I take 75 million out of the 100 million, guess what? Out of the 200 million pot, we both got 100 million, that's 50-50. But, however, we both know, everyone knows, the second fight is always going to generate more than the first.
Depending on how the first fight goes, though.
Yeah,
it depends on the first fight. That's a fantasy. For you,
It's not a fantasy, bro.
it is a fantasy. For you to be correct.
In terms of,
oh no, wait, hold on.
The style of the fight, the profile's gonna be bigger.
No.
More advertising behind it. Bigger markets.
If Deontay gets banged in the first round, are you gonna want to see a rematch?
Even still, hold on. Even still, whether or not the first fight's bigger or smaller, what my whole point still is valid is that it doesn't become 50-50. Because if the number's more, then the percentage shifts. If the number's less, the percentage shifts. So that's the first thing that's incorrect. That's been said out here. Right? Secondly, as you mentioned about overpaying, I put up a post on the podcast. Go check us out on Instagram, instagram.com/BSB podcast. Boom. Stating the different purses that were presented to different fighters. Okay? They keep talking about our percentage offers. Sorry, our offers are, career best offers, and Deontay Wilder should be happy. But when you break down what other fighters have seen, in the case of Charles Martin, over 20 times his biggest purse. In the case of Joseph Parker, 10 times his biggest purse. Deontay Wilder doesn't even fall into line because this would be only 6 times his biggest purse. So again, your numbers are off. Yeah? Thirdly even, man, I'm obviously going off on one right now.
Yeah, go on, keep going.
Thirdly, Eddie is talking about, if you're so confident in yourself, take the 12 million. Well, likewise, I would say if you're so confident in AJ knocking out Deontay Wilder, why not offer him a credible amount of the purse? And then finally, I'll let you rebuttal. I'm saving some of my things for your rebuttal, so we can go back and forth, have a little dance. Finally, AJ and Eddie Hearn's relationship is being presented in a very weird light in front of the audience, because as you said here, is that we've got a lot of people screaming, "This is all Eddie Hearn's doing." AJ is screaming. AJ saying these things and saying these comments, which are effectively leading towards, "You should be grateful. You should be grateful. You should be grateful." Mm-hmm. We need some consistency from Matchroom side. One consistent story. And then we can go from there. And AJ deserves equally as much criticism as what Eddie Hearn's getting. Be clear.
Yes, he does. But I believe AJ wants to fight, I think.
Yeah, he does.
Everyone wants to fight, bro.
He does. He actually does.
AJ wants to fight.
Clear, right?
He actually
Neither
does.
of them two men are pussy.
Huh?
So let's get that out of the equation, right? That's not what's gonna stop in this fight here. If you put them two men in the room and they're both talking shit to each other, both of them are ready to put hands on one another, that's fair. Right? But at the end of the day, KC, let me give you another example there, KC, right? Mm. Let's say you got a watch, right? Let's say you got a kettle, like a Rollie or something, yeah? Mm-hmm. If I see you with that kettle and I'm like, yo, that's a nice watch still, right? Mm. I want that watch from you. I'm talking like I really want that watch, right? Mm. If that watch is worth, say, 10 bags, and I'm telling you, yeah, fam, I'm going to buy that off you, the minimum you're probably gonna entertain a conversation with is about 4 or 5 bag, right? Yeah. 5s. If I present you fucking £20, you know that I'm not serious about buying that watch.
But you reached though. You could have said 2 bags. I would have said you're not serious. Why £20? But go on.
All right, 2 bag, whatever. Yeah. Anything less than 3 bag starting point for a 10 bag watch. You know that I'm not really being serious. No, I'm just saying it.
No. See, but you what? I see your angle, but I don't think that's the case in this situation. I think they're just trying to. I think personally, it's a move where they know that offer is a lowball offer. They know, even though they're saying, "Oh, it's his highest purse today," they know it's a lowball offer. But what they're trying to do, they're trying to humble him. But you're only stoking the fire. Yeah. You're not doing. It's a wrong chess move. Go on.
No, because what's happening now? AJ's obviously leaving it to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's thinking, okay, this is a chess move. What I'm gonna make, so I'm gonna lowball him to start with, see where he takes the offer.
But Nate,
and then continue.
Sorry to interject, yeah. Low balling is like I said to you. Low balling. If it's a 10 bag kettle, low balling is me starting at 2.5 bag, 3 bag. That's a low ball.
Yeah, but that's what they did. That's what more or less they did.
When you start 12.5%, there isn't room because. Don't forget, in negotiations, right? You probably go up what? You go up half an increment each time. So if you start if you want, it's only like 10% more, you give them half of that, 5%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they might turn around and say, give me 7.5%.
Yeah.
And then that's the middle point, right? But when you're starting at 12.5%, you're not putting in anything in place to start maneuvering, because you can't go from 12.5% to then now what, 30%?
I think they'll get 20.
But didn't
I
you
think
hear,
they'll get 20.
But didn't you hear the rumours about the negotiation
yeah.
between Parker and AJ? The initial offer was ridiculous, apparently, and then I had to go back and readdress it.
Yeah.
And come up with something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good point.
The initial offer was 40. They
No,
said 40.
it
No,
wasn't 40%.
it was not.
It wasn't.
It was
It was like 25. It was like 25, 23.
Who?
Parker.
To Parker.
No. Parker's team went at them first, saying 40%.
Yeah, and then Eddie sent them 20%.
All right, cool. So what's half of 40 and 20?
20 in it. They got. But what Nate was saying. What Nate said is true. What I read, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, what's half of 20 and 40? 30, right?
Yeah.
Which is effectively what you got.
But yeah,
So
but
that's
Nate,
what I'm saying.
you're saying what
that
Nate
makes
said though.
sense. You can go from.
You're saying what Nate said. Nate said that. Basically, Nate said that. That
Said what?
the original offer that they gave Parker was low. I remember Higgins saying it was a joke, it's disrespectful,
Yeah, but this is
la
what
la
I'm
la la,
saying.
and
Yeah,
they got
even
up
if
to
it was
what,
low,
33%.
Listen, if I start at you and I say 40%, and you're saying and your counter is saying 20, we meet in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm meeting in the middle 30%.
Yeah. So you're saying
which is what he got. But what I'm saying, if you start at 10%, 12%, where are you gonna meet? You understand me?
24%.
Yeah, 24, 25%. I think that's what they're gonna get. I think what Eddie's tried to do is get everyone to look at the numbers. AJ sold 250,000 tickets in 11 months. Let's say, okay, he's for. Hold on. Let me land.
The ticket sales is not where the money's coming from. It's TV. Everything's about pay-per-view.
Hold on.
So
It's ticket
there's no
sales.
point talking about
80,000,
gates, not where the money's
80,000,
coming from.
90,000. In the last 3 fights, he sold 200,000 tickets.
That's not where the money's
250,000
coming
tickets.
from, bro.
Pardon me?
That's not where the money's coming from.
No, but let me land. I haven't even made my point yet.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So I'm saying, okay, cool. AJ sold that much tickets. Forget about the money, yeah? And if you look at, I think what Eddie's trying to do is get everyone to look at numbers. If you look at Deontay's last fights, I don't know, I know he's fought in Brooklyn, let's say Alabama.
Yeah.
Tuscaloosa, yeah. So let's say, I put them at max. I'm not even going to lowball them and say, that, let's put them at max. Let's say 6,000, 14,000, 14,000. It don't even compare to Anthony Joshua's numbers.
What's that got to do with it, though, bro?
But
It's got everything to do with it.
Bro.
It's got everything to do with it. It's got
Bro.
everything to do with it. So
it's
what?
got nothing to
You
do-
think?
you know why?
You think that man has? How can that have nothing to do with
Do
it?
you know why it's got nothing to do with it?
Go on.
Because Mayweather, yeah, and Conor McGregor, their gate at MGM is only 15,000 people, right? But they did over 17 million on the gate, which is the world record.
Because the money that they were charging for seats alone was stupid.
But that's my point, bro. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So there's no point talking about revenue from the gate where the money from the fight is not coming from the gate.
But that's part of the money.
It's coming from pay-per-view.
Basically, look, I'm saying if you put their numbers, let's look at it stats wise, innit? Like for example, if you say Messi, Ronaldo, you would look at left foot, right foot, header, in the box, out the box, free kick. You look at different stats, you know?
Bro, I'm talking to you from straight business out here, yeah? You gotta remember, yeah, sometimes the optics are not actually translating to real figures, right? And just because you're doing, listen, in terms of popularity, yeah, but end of the day, when it comes to hard cash, it's not a fucking popularity contest. And ultimately, the money for this fight is going to come from the pay-per-view numbers, not from people coming to the stadium. Like realistically, Anthony Joshua could turn around and say, "I'm keeping all the gate from the fight, Wembley or Cardiff, wherever it is." Cool. That probably wouldn't be on the table. Like, so that's not what.
But like, I don't. You can't dismiss that though.
Pay-per-view numbers and UK and America and fact and it's going to be fact. They're going to make good money off the pay-per-view numbers. So if you turn around and say you're getting fixed 12 million and the pay-per-view come in at fucking 200 million, you're gonna think to yourself, what the fuck?
Do you know what? At this moment of time, I don't even see 1 million people buying this fight in America.
What?
I don't see it.
I
You
can.
know why? Again, bruv. I've been doing my research, bruv. You gotta start doing the research out here, cause I'm factually telling you over 1 million will do this for the simple reason is that if 1 million wouldn't do it, they would just put it on terrestrial TV in America.
Yeah.
Right? That's, bruv, I'm speaking to my boys out in America, they broke it down to me. The reason why a lot of boxers don't do pay-per-view in America is because the TV execs do the kind of logistics and they try and figure out how many people are going to watch the fight realistically, right? Yeah. And if it's less than 1 million, they don't put it onto pay-per-view.
And right? They are trying to negotiate a deal for pay-per-view for this fight.
But again, because remember, that ain't no.
They're going to put it on pay-per-view, so it's going to do over 1 million. So you know you're going to get 1 million in America, right? You're going to get what? Does AJ do? What's the numbers over here? 1.5 million is it, or 3 million or something like that?
He's done 3 million.
3 million pay-per-view.
Right. So that's 4 million, and realistically, in terms of figures, that'll probably be the same. Like America's going to charge more than the UK in terms of pay-per-view.
Yeah, they always do. They always do, and that's why I'm scared it won't make 1 million.
Both territories are going to probably bring in the same amount of revenue. So
okay, I see. Yeah, okay.
Why? If I know my joint in America is bringing in the same money you're bringing in from the UK outside of the gate, of course I'm gonna need more than 12%.
But that's based if it makes 100 million.
Sorry.
That's if it makes your 12% only becomes 12% if it's based on 100 million.
Okay, but again,
exactly. So you don't know. We don't know. We're assuming. We're all assuming that's 100 million fight. Yeah. The chances are high, but that's what I'm saying. Even at the end of the
man offering 12.5 million? Why not say that cool? We're gonna give you 12.5% of the fight, then regardless of what it makes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I got no rebuttal for that. I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Yeah.
This is the point where what I'm trying to say to you about lowballing and why it doesn't seem. The reason why I use the example of the Rolex, right? The reason why it seems fucking stupid because when a man's saying you're not allowed to get none of the upside on the pay-per-view. What? What do you mean I'm not allowed to get none of the upside on the pay-per-view? You see, that's what makes the offer look unrealistic in the first place.
I agree with you. We're all in agreement of that. We're all in agreement of that. But I'm trying to explain.
12.5 million, and then if the pay-per-view numbers meet a certain number, we'll give you another percentage. All right, that seems like a realistic deal. And then Deontay's got no reason to say no.
Yeah. I agree with you. Well, I think we're all in agreement about the offer being low. I think what Eddie's tried to do, I think he's tried to be too smart. He's tried to get everyone to look statistically at the numbers that AJ does and the numbers that Deontay does and be like, oh yeah, well AJ does way more than, he should be happy with the fight. But like, obviously people know Eddie and know Eddie, who type of guy Eddie is, and everyone's like, nah, Eddie, you can't offer it that. No, not for this fight. And then you come out and say,
and AJ, bro, this is what I'm trying to say to you, bro.
Yeah. Well, AJ said AJ's words were lucrative. AJ's words were lucrative.
You can't just say Eddie Hearn.
But the thing is, he's like, I agree with Nate. I feel like he's not sitting in there like next to him and say, okay, cool. How much you gonna offer him? Yeah, okay, cool. Offer him that. He's not like, I feel like Eddie's doing it. Eddie's come back and said, how do you feel about this?
And then AJ says, be like, you know what? I'll leave this decision to you.
If AJ says, yeah, cool. He's culpable as well.
But you so you're saying he's equally you want the energy everyone's giving Eddie, you want it to go to AJ as well, basically.
1,000,000%.
No, but I think if Eddie said, okay, this is the deal and Wilder's agreed to the deal, do you want to take the fight? Yes or no? AJ 9 times out of 10 will say yes. He take the fight.
Fam, that's a terrible analogy, fam. Like, it doesn't make sense towards the argument. The argument here is this, yeah. AJ, from what we hear all the time, AJ runs the show. AJ's the final boss. AJ gets the final say. Yeah. So if that is the case, it's like me and you, bruv. Yeah. I come to you now, Nate. You say there's a pair of crepes that you like. Yeah. I go do all the research about the crepes. I'm like, yeah, Nate, go offer this much. I explain to you why I say the training's gonna last this long. They're gonna have value of this much in 2 years' time. Buy them and offer this much. If you've got all the due diligence behind you, and you say, all right, cool, bet I'm on that, you're still culpable as well.
Bro, I don't like. If you're gonna, I don't think it's the same energy. I think it's a percentage, but I think they've just tried to mug. They're mugging him, like, brother.
Who's the boss? Who's the boss at AJ?
Who's the boss of AJ?
Who's the boss at AJ? Or is AJ working for Eddie Hearn, or is AJ the boss?
At the moment of time, he's working for Eddie Hearn, no? Until they re-sign the deal and they're going to be working together.
Supposedly, AJ meant to be the boss with AJ management. AJ management meant to know the best decisions.
So AJ is the boss. So if you're the boss, you are the person who's culpable. When all's said and done, yeah, you're the captain of the ship. You take you're supposed to take all the why.
I mean, there's two ways you can think about it. I mean, I like to think.
There's one way only.
No,
bro.
I like to think AJ wants to fight.
He does want to
On
fight.
the other hand, he could be thinking.
That's not debatable, fam. We all know this.
Okay,
But
let him land. Let him land. Let him land.
On
Let
the
him land.
other hand,
Alright, sorry,
he's,
my fault.
okay,
Sorry,
cool.
my
On the
bad.
other hand, he's thinking, okay, I've got title X, Y, and Z. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I want. That's what I'm saying. I want to monetize off all these titles and make as much money as I can, because with the Deontay Wilder fight, if I lose my titles, then in terms of value, it can go down. You see what I'm saying? So I think what he could be doing is just trying to stretch this fight out as long as possible
and make the most money.
and make the most money.
But
he can.
even at that, I think he wants to fight next. But I honestly believe them lot are trying to humble him. It's like they're trying to get everyone. Not everyone's like, oh, they're not gonna go there and sit down, and look at the numbers, look at the stats, and look at this. Or some people might say, oh, I might do it. Oh, let me go say, oh, and then realize, wait, hold on, this is a good offer. I think that's what they're trying to do. The offer's gonna come up. Come on, like, it's ridiculous to think that you take it or leave it. Top. They've got 3 weeks to negotiate this deal, and I believe in those 3 weeks, the offer can come up to about 25 million. If it comes up to 25 million, Deontay has no reason not to take the fight.
Why did you say 25 million flat fee or 25 million with perks?
With Pat.
Wait, you would hope that Shelly and that are good enough.
Casey, what you saying?
I said 25 million with perks, which should seal the deal.
All right, cool. Me personally, I'm in agreement. That for the first fight will be a decent starting offer. Personally. However, 3 things I want to highlight here, right? And this is addressing what Nate said. Number 1, you got 3 belts, but in the heavyweight division, only 1 belt counts, right? If you're a boxing fan and understand boxing, we all know only 1 belt counts in heavyweight
But
division.
3 still bigger than
right?
1. 3 still
And he
bigger
got
than
that.
1.
So
3 still bigger
all
than
the
1.
other belts he's got, fuck them, they're dead.
No, that doesn't. No. I'm not having that. 3 still bigger than 1, regardless. If that's the case, why ain't Deontay offering up the money then?
You're telling me
If that's the case, why ain't Deontay offering up the money for the fight then? If his belt is that much more important than the other 3 belts.
Bro.
Yeah, but the most recognizable belt in boxing is the green belt.
However,
Casey,
if that's the case, why wouldn't you?
Let's not do
unify?
it, bro. Let's not do that, bro. Because historically in boxing, the belt with the most prestige is a green belt. Let's be clear about that. Let's not try and gas anybody.
I'm not
Let's
gassing
be
anyone,
honest.
but
Let's
I'm
be
just
honest
saying,
once.
if it's
We know about the most prestige, the WBC green belt. We know why, and we also, you know what I mean. Let's not even debate that.
But my point is, if that's the case, then Deontay can carry on going about his business, then, innit? No.
KC, come on, bro. Listen.
Who brings more to the table? Let me ask you a question.
It's not even an objective argument.
Who brings more to the table?
Belt represents.
Who brings more to the table?
Bro, you're arguing a different argument. I'm saying.
No, okay, cool. That's what I'm saying. Because it's like, okay.
End of the day, yeah. If you're a heavyweight champion and you don't have that green strap around your waist, it doesn't look right. I don't understand what you're arguing for.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying who brings more to the table.
More prestige as being the heavyweight belt, the official heavyweight belt.
Who brings more to the table?
Fam,
I'm literally gone off. I'm not arguing that. Cool. That the belt is most prestige. I'm asking you.
Cool. Deadly. So I got more points. That's point number 1. We know that green belt.
So why are you not answering the question?
That's number 1. Number 2, as I said to you, number 2, AJ's acting like he can monetize that belt more without Deontay Wilder. The reality situation is this, yeah. If indeed the WBA are going to enforce provoking necks, guess what? What people don't realize and what people's not talking about, yeah. Provoking promoter is a fucking billionaire. Guess where that fight would happen?
Russia.
In Russia. Guess what? They ain't gonna travel to Russia. So guess what happens? He's gonna have to vacate that belt if he doesn't take the Deontay Wilder fight anyway. No one's talking about that, are they? And point 3, which people seem to not want to do, and we've had this conversation now for the last 10 minutes, AJ is culpable by being the boss of his own business, right? There's not one business in the world whereby if you say you're the boss, you do not become culpable for the final decisions that are made. Anyone arguing that? Talking at the backside.
But decisions not fine. I think it's a starting place. There's nothing to really like. I think it gets conversation going because that's why we're talking about it. But I really think they just tried to humble Deontay Wilder and say, "Look, chill, bro. You can't be saying how much you want to get from the fight. You can't." I think that's what they're trying to say. Literally, we've got another 3 weeks, and then we'll see.
I mean,
if we don't land at about 25 million, then there's a problem.
if I'm being honest, I don't think they want this fight this year, and they're gonna try and do everything they can to delay it. But they've fallen into a corner, and they can't get out of the corner. So
thank you, but Nate. Nate hit the fucking nail on the head. They
that's
pushed
what's
themselves
happening.
into a corner, and now they're gonna shut up themselves. What's gonna happen is gonna end up vacating the belt because the WBA belt because oh shit, the WBA gonna enforce it. Guess what? You can't out fucking bid a billionaire. That's the reason why Klitschko had to fight fucking Povetkin in Russia.
Even Wilder was gonna fight him in Russia as well.
Yeah, but he was down for that, bro.
Yeah.
And then what are you gonna say to that then, KC? Then that's in fact perfect, bro. Wilder was down to go to fight in Russia, but AJ's not gonna do that.
Because he's comfortable. I don't know why. He's been mad comfortable. In
and
UK,
that's
innit?
another question
I think
as well.
I think he's someone that really appreciates comfort levels. He won't do anything.
I don't give a bro. But wait a second.
That's
bro.
not really a good
We're
thing.
talking about
That's not really a good thing.
That's another question. That's another
I
question.
agree with you, bro. I agree with you. Don't worry. I agree with you. I think,
And that's another question as well. Fair enough, yeah. UK Matchroom resurrected the heavyweight division, but why always fighting in the UK?
like I said, I feel like he's comfortable here.
But me personally, I got no problem with that, bro. Like I appreciate the fact of some people are just homebodies. Yeah, they like their familiarity, they like their surroundings. I mean, end of the day, you man know me, bro. I'm a traveller, isn't it? Like I'll go wherever the fucking wind takes me. I got no qualms with that, bro. But one thing I will say, when you do go traveling in certain places, you got to deal with different foods, like different transport systems. There's different things that some people can acclimatize to better than others. Like me, I'm just type of brother, I don't really give a fuck, innit? I'll figure it out. But if you've got like your nutritionist, you've got your comfort levels, TV comfort, your friends around the corner, and I feel like AJ is that type of person, like he likes his home comforts. Nothing wrong with that. But again, when people are out here saying Deontay shook this, that, and the fourth,
whoever said Deontay shook is a fool.
Which AJ's clearly
That's
shown.
what the AJ.
Who said that? Deontay's not shook. Deontay's not shook.
That's what the fanboys.
Let's be real.
do say.
Let's be real. Deontay's not shook. Deontay's not shook. Let's come off.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, no, I've never ever once said he shook. Pardon me?
There's people out here that are saying he shook.
Yeah, anyone that's saying that, anyone that's saying that, please don't claim to be a fan of anything. Like you're a dickhead.
I'm glad you said that.
You're stupid. Like you're stupid. You're stupid. Because he would literally fight. Deontay will go to fight anywhere, and part of the reason why he has that hunger is because again, I feel like he should be well more known, and it's that reason that I should be far more known than I am. So I will come to your backyard and punch you up. So as I'm leaving, you know who I am. That's what do you think?
What's the likelihood for you though, percentage-wise, the fight's gonna happen this year?
It's very low. I think I'm at a point where, do you know what? Part of me secretly, I would love for Dylan to fight for the WBA, so that when him and Joshua fight, it's for it's unification again. But I don't know whether Dylan beats Povetkin, but I think it'll be a good fight. Actually, he probably would.
He probably would.
So yeah, that it secretly, I wouldn't mind that happening because of how it would change the landscape of everything. Like it would make it even more exciting, and it'll probably prolong this heavyweight thing even further. But I think right now I sit about 30%. I don't think the fight happens this year. There's too much.
There's too much politics behind the fight happening this year.
There's way too much. It's gonna. They want to make the most money out of it, and both of them have to keep winning. But at the same time, this year it doesn't make 100 million this year. If that's my personal opinion, I don't think it makes.
I think it would.
You would have to put a lot
I think it does,
into
like
it.
I said to you, bro. We briefly done the maths here, bro. Like, if any of the pay-per-view networks in America take it on, which they're going to do, it's making over 1 million buys. So you guaranteed your money already.
Yeah, alright, cool. We'll see. Like, but I don't think the fight.
But I'm like you. I don't think it's gonna happen this year. I feel like AJ's gonna have to vacate one of his belts, and the fight will eventually happen. But at a point where I think probably towards the back end of next year. And
I think early next.
I would say early. I would say
early next.
More AJ
Early
than
next.
Deontay. As it stands, I favour Deontay than AJ.
Pardon me?
I feel like the fight will happen,
Yeah.
but next year, towards the back end of next year,
Yeah.
and at that point, I'd favour AJ more than Deontay.
Okay. Okay.
Depending on how many fights AJ has.
He would have about 4. They said if he fights Deontay this year, he's only having one other fight this year.
Yeah, I think
if he doesn't fight Deontay, he fights 2 more times.
Yeah,
so it'll be in summer and November.
It will favour AJ as time progresses, depending.
And to be fair,
the type of person who, as I said to you guys from the gate, he would be and would go down as one of the best heavyweights ever if he got the right type of time to mature into his.
That's facts. Facts. I 100% agree with that.
But as I've said to you consistently, the reason why I see people beating him is because he's been fast tracked and hasn't had the time to become what he could become.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true, and that's what I'm looking at. My man's had 20 more fights than him, 21 more fights than him. You know what I mean?
He just coming at the right time.
And O said it best the other day. It's like, because these stars aligned for him so well, things have happened quick. But at the same time, if his career stopped tomorrow, does he go down as an all-time great? No. That's a fact. If you look at the caliber of opponents he's faced, it's not necessarily his fault, but the two fights you can say he's had. 3 actually. Takam, Vlad, and Dylan White are the only 3 fights he had. That Parker fight was barely a fight because Parker talked a lot of stuff and ran most of the fight.
Yeah, but you can't knock AJ for that because he.
I'm not knocking AJ.
Like I said to you,
I'm not knocking AJ.
Perspective, he was pretty much punch perfect.
He was punch perfect. I'm not knocking AJ. I'm saying AJ did what he had to do. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying you can't really say it propelled him to new levels. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
To me, bro. I said to you, I saw a high caliber jab, bro.
100%. But I've always told you he's had a jab. I told you the boy had a jab.
Bro, it's not to that level.
Nate,
you go back compare the jab.
Ain't I told you the boy had a jab?
Even how straight the jab was, the snappiness of it, the double jab,
and the check hook. He's got his check hook as well. He's got that check hook.
Was comparable to go back to watch Lennox. Go back to watch Larry Holmes. It was even Vladimir. The jab was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the jab.
I think. Yeah, I agree, man. Back in the next year, 25 fights, 26 fights, he ready. Him taking the fight now is a massive risk, and you have to if let's say Deontay gets one, regardless of the decision, you have to rate him. He doesn't have to do this now because if he fights Deontay, because because you know that interview you're referring to where he was like it's a lucrative offer, blah blah. He was like he seemed shocked, almost offended that Fury wanted 4 fights before he fought him. He was like 4. He wants to fight 4 times. Oh, I wanted to fight earlier. But he doesn't have to cash out so quick. You want to be here for 10 years? But
that's a good segue though, talk about Fury though.
Yeah, go on. Return of the Mac.
I feel like Fury's coming in the game, cash grab, and I think the limitations are gonna be obvious.
What do you think?
When he does fight AJ, he's gonna get beat.
Before we even get there, Nate, what do you think of signing with BT? Smart or stupid? I'm asking you directly. Nate.
No choice.
Why no choice?
I just feel that if he signed to Matchroom, he knows that he's going to be second fiddle to AJ. He wants to be the star. He wants to potentially get himself marketed to a certain degree, and he won't get on Matchroom. So he had no choice but to sign to BT, so he can be the star on that side of the roster. Mm-hmm. And in terms of his return, I don't.
Hold on.
All right, go on.
Do you think it's stupid or smart?
Bro, I think you man might get a bit. You man might disagree. I think he's doing what David Hay did.
What's that?
And I think he's disguising it with all this talk about I don't want to play second fiddle bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't think he's playing second fiddle if he goes to Matchroom.
He isn't. Go on.
I think Eddie Hearn would make him a priority.
I'll land in a sec. Go on.
But I think Eddie Hearn would match him against people that the fans would want to buy into. Yeah. Whereas I think Frank Warren is going to allow him to pretty much handpick who he wants to fight.
Yeah.
Just to say that he's got Tyson Fury. And like I said, to me, I'm just seeing what a David Hay cash grab.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna fight anybody of any real threat in these 4 fights, and he's just waiting so that he can fight AJ, get that 50-50, biggest fight in British boxing history,
and then leave again.
And whatever happens, he'll cash out, make fucking whatever. He keeps quoting 50 million. walk away to the sunset, bro.
I think why he should have signed with Matchroom is because the matchmaking that they could have had. For example, my guy. For example, David Price.
Okay.
Fun fight. Like, even though we know the outcome, but there's a lot to build from it. Retribution. Oh, he can redemption. He can get back. Boom, quick fight. David Allen, another good fight. Building. By the time he got to AJ, the fight is probably like the biggest fight ever in history. That's what I would have signed. That's what I would have signed with Matchroom rather than BT Sport. What do you think? Would you sign with, if you come back as free? Would you have signed with BT or Sky?
Fam, it depends. Like I said to you, my motivations are what I think Tyson Fury's motivations are.
Yeah.
I sign with BT because BT ain't gonna push him to fight no big names unless he wants to.
But that's what I'm saying. That you're because he's saying they're all bums. I could do this. We know David Price is a bum, unfortunately. But that fight there, even though you know the outcome, is something that you would actually go to watch because after that performance against Fox, where he nicked him with that hook, you think, yeah, okay, cool. Maybe he can have a moment in that fight, and boom, Fury wins, and then profile sky high. Next fight against another good, decent heavyweight, which they Matchroom have or can access. But in BT Sport, no one's gonna care, bro. Like, who's gonna fight on BT, bro? Look at the.
Nah, but
come on, bro. Who's he gonna fight?
He'll get publicity for BT. People still want to watch him fight, bro. But look at the difference, bro. Even his resume is pretty trash if you break it down,
Very
bro.
trash.
Like
Very
Christian
trash.
Hamers, Chisoras, fucking Steve Cunningham. There ain't really big names on his CV either.
Hence
You know
why
what I mean? Klitschko was the big name, and obviously he did what he did almost 3 years ago. But if him fighting on BT, because this is what I understand from what Eddie Hearn was saying. Eddie was saying that he wanted to kind of handpick people, and Eddie was like, man, I can't sell them fights because the people you choose are not fucking.
Oh yeah.
credible.
I did see that. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I think he's gonna do, bro. Just pick people who've got, average records,
Yeah.
but no one that's gonna be a super threat.
Dance his way to the ring and then pump them.
Yeah.
Do that 4 times and then say, yeah, I'm ready. I could do big fights. I could do it with one hand. After the second fight, I could beat AJ with one hand. Pumped up, stay weight. That's what he's gonna say.
I don't think he's beating AJ one hand, bro. I think he might need 3 hands.
He knows
He
he's
doesn't
not
seem
beating AJ.
confident in himself, though, to be honest.
I don't think the confidence is fully there. I think the 4 fights is to refine that confidence, refine that shot, fine tuning. I mean, every time I talk to Dan about it, he's always saying you have it, but for you to know, you need to go there and test it out. You can't go there and go against a humdinger, like, you know what I mean, someone that's gonna bang you and then question your whole heart, you gut check you in your fight back. You can't do that. You see Ricky Hatton. It happened to Ricky Hatton. That guy wasn't supposed to be Ricky Hatton because I think didn't Thing fight him after, Kell Brook fight him after, and made the guy look like an amateur.
Boxing's about momentum, innit? Really, so.
Yo, who's that? Is that one back then?
Yeah, bro, he's in the building.
Come on.
But it's a momentum sport as well, so it's like, I feel like if you take a 6-month layoff, you need to know you're coming back better. So he's talking crowd. He's saying that he's definitely better now at 29 than he was thing. But we need to see it. Bottom line, he does a lot on Instagram. We do need to see it. I have belief in him, and I think he can come back and school them. But it depends what mood he's in.
Ain't it 3 years?
You can get a different type of
Ain't it basically 3 years?
2, I think.
But if 2015 was his last fight.
November's 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah, 3 years, bro. 3 years.
3 years.
It's nearly 3 years.
But it doesn't matter for someone like him because his thing is mental anyway. The way he fights is mental and not necessarily super physical.
But like you said, though, momentum, bro. Like, if he's fighting AJ's momentum consistently going up.
Oh.
Like, AJ's figuring out certain things like, yeah, he's not the fastest in the feet, but, when he's fighting a Fury, if he closes down the ring effectively, puts that pressure on,
is it just
it'd be
me
a better
that
fight for him rather than
Joshua,
Fury.
for me, is a bit more human now than he was in 2015 anyway.
Again, but look
I know he's been fighting tougher opponents,
Yeah.
but back then it looked like he was unbeatable, and now at least he looks beatable. That might give Fury enough.
Do you know what? Do you know what's funny? I've always seen him as beatable. I've never seen him as like some indestructible force that would just pump anyone. I look at fights. I knew he was going to win the WAD fight, but that was because of the youth on his side.
Both of these.
But I didn't see WAD
the older
pumping
era.
him to the point where, like, round 6, where like he could have ended the fight. I didn't see that, but he's always looked beatable to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, he's beatable.
Mayweather has never seen beatable. That's the only boxer, and Andre Ward that don't seem beatable.
The thing is, with all of these heavyweights now, they are all beatable by each other. It just depends who gets their way in the fight.
Yeah.
That's it.
And on the night, yeah.
All of them.
True, yeah.
There's none of them that's more special than the other, right? They're all the
That's-
same thing.
Fam, I said that from what? 2 years ago, when Vlad lost, 2.5 years ago, I said, the thing that's going to be great about heavyweights is there's not one who's super stand out.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
true.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
in a way, it kind of doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. They all would have not survived 20 years ago.
Hell
So
no.
it doesn't matter.
Hell no. There's too much rugged youths then. Too many rugged heavyweights that did not care. That would come to
All
fight
of them,
every.
Black American.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of them.
You had to go there. 'Cause when I watched that Holyfield and Riddick Bowe fight, that fight wasn't easy, man. Like the punches they were taking.
Yeah.
Damn. Hey, close with your smoke section because a lot of man need to get it today. Still.
We've got to argue the smoke.
Yeah, I need that. I need that.
First of all, I need my theme.
Free smoke, free smoke.
Free
Smoke, free smoke.
It's him. Oh.
Hey. All right, cool. The smoke section, under pressure, so I'm going to have to be brief on this one. I might just put everyone into one big pot.
Please.
I'm just killing with the smoke straight. So first in the pot, first and second in the pot, Oscar De La Hoya. Quickly followed by Sal Canelo Alvarez. Them two man jumping in there. Fishnet stockings on, utensils, put that kombucha roll in there. You two man, first in the pot. Thirdly in the pot is the wettest footballer might be currently playing. Man like Harry Kane.
I didn't even see that one coming.
That pot, fam. Like, I'm all for strikers claiming goals. I'm all for that, yeah? That shows passion. But when you're putting your newborn baby daughter and swearing on her life for goal that clearly did not score, fam, your integrity is negative 300. Like, we're not on you, bruv. You're a dead guy. Dead guy. Yeah?
Shit. Fucking
Fourth
Spurs.
in the pot, from a boxing standpoint, you might not know this, brother, an American boxer by the name of Rod Salker.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh shit, yeah.
This fucking donut had the audacity to get in the ring with a Mexican Olympian with shorts saying America first and having a brick wall design on the blue shorts.
Oh, what a dickhead.
What?
Well, guess what happened to Rod Salker in round 6?
The wall got smashed.
You got it. He needs all types of smoke. Man got stopped in the
I
corner.
swear, we need like some smoke
Rod Salker,
buttons.
Like, I don't want to give you smoke. I want to kill you. You need to die, bruv. I'm like, you're negative. Final man in the pot. I don't even like doing this one because this brother's close to my heart, fam. You see me?
Good.
Man's from my country, my parish, them. Yeah? Big man like Dylan.
What did he do?
The
Fam.
Twitter.
What did he do?
Why did Dylan White have to tweet? Oh dear, at Bronze Bomber. You recently turned down over 5 million to fight me to earn nothing trying to become an actor. Stop running away and fight me, you deluded fake coward.
Copy and
But
paste.
why did he leave in his management PR information of tagging the acting clip?
What a dickhead. What a dickhead. No way, he didn't do that. No way.
What happened to your brethren? Y'all make man look like he down on big social media like that. Alright, cool. 6 man in the pot. Turn that up to 180 degrees right now. Yeah, them man are done. Pure smoke for them, man. Next week we'll find some new candidates. Boom, I'm out.
God, that section was sick. That was so sick. Oscar De La Hoya, definitely. But yeah, thanks for listening to this week's show. We'll be back very soon and shortly. Boom. Free smoke,
Sorry.
free smoke.
Yo, let me get one more quick shout out.
Go on.
Or not even shout out. One more member to the pot. I forgot to say. Because I'm all about equal opportunities. Can I get this one done?
Good.
The final member to the pot. Khloe Kardashian herself.
No! Tristan Thompson!
No,
Tristan
no,
Thompson!
no. He's a G.
He's a G. He's a G. He's a G.
Come on.
He's a G.
You lot are wilding.
Explain to you why not, Tristan.
Go on.
Right? You can't go to any job, bang 4 men from the job, and then get mad when the 4th man beats out on you. You gotta jump in the pot. You need smoke. Yeah? Khloe Kardashian had beat 3 other NBA stars.
James Harden.
And she's mad that man cheated on her when she's 9 months pregnant.
Shit, I didn't even know that.
What's that?
There you
You
go.
know what?
Jump
There's
in the
no
pot,
rules
Khloe.
in
Get
this
in the
thing.
pot, come. The 6 man in there already. Stir it up. Free
Cuz.
smoke, free smoke.
Free smoke, bro. You turn that into a shisha lounge real quickly, brother. Wait. 4 man.
Lamar Odom, James Harden, Tristan Thompson, and one brother used to play for Minnesota. I can't remember his name though.
Oh, so okay, on the come up. That must have been on the come up then.
4
Damn.
man from the same job.
Damn. Back next week though. I love that. This show was a good show. Hope you guys love it. Peace.
Peace.
Wait. BSP podcast.
On all platforms.
Social media,
On all social media platforms.
YouTube. Find us, like us, subscribe us.
Cool.
You must be out of your goddamn mind. Joe Louis, the greatest boxer ever lived. I'll be with you boys in a minute. He was bad in Cassius Clay. He bad in Sugar Ray. He bad in that. Who that? The new boy got. Mike Tyson look like a bulldog. He bad at him too. He done whipped Mike Tyson there. He whipped all that.
Paid the cost to be the boss. Paid the cost to be the boss. I paid the cost to be the boss. Look at me.